you're going through a white knuckle period. I think it goes back to like worries about circular financing,
Yep.
OpenAI too big to fail. If Oracle sneezes, the stock's down 2%. So it's sort of analysis of like how the build out looks out. Look, in my view, and we've talked about it so many times in the show, this is going to be an 8-10 year build out of the AI revolution. In that period, you're going to go through these moments. Then it's sort of prove it, what the use cases look like, what the spending looks like. And I think that's ultimately what this is. But in my opinion, this is the tech bull market has 2 more years left, and it's not the time to panic. These sell-offs create the opportunities. That continues to be our thesis.
So when investors start to take a closer look at an Oracle and really question whether it belongs up there, at least its share price movements belong up there with the Alphabets of the world and the Microsofts of the world, are they justified in identifying a weak link like Oracle? Does it ring true to you?
I think they're justified in terms of why you'd separate out Oracle versus the others, but because just given they've never really built out everything from a data center perspective. They're not a hyperscaler like a Microsoft, Google, or Amazon. But my view is you have 475 to 500 billion in deal flow, 300 billion of that being OpenAI, the next 5 years, 6 years. You're going to take on some debt. You are going to build that out given the opportunities. And I think that's going to be a thesis, right? And that's going to be a theme as we've seen with like Meta, spending on CapEx. Investors don't like to see it. They want to see free cash flow, EPS going up next year. But the reality is Zuck, in wartime CEO mode, focus on how do you monetize the 3 billion users over the coming years. And I think that is what we're going to see play out across, over in 2026.
How does OpenAI fund itself and all the money it's spending?
Yeah, I think, look, if you look at it today and you're like, how are they going to fund that much, 10, 15x of what they generate today? See, Paul, my view is you're going to look at a company over the next 5 to 10 years that the revenue and the monetization opportunity is probably 4 or 5x what they've already committed to. So if you take a longer term view over the next 8, 10 years, what they can do, I think it's ultimately, given the centerpiece that they're going to play in AI, the monetization is going to be there and more.
I reaffirmed my buy recommendation for NVIDIA in late September because of the company's solid Q3 outlook, great Q2 performance, and sound strategic positioning, which kept the risk-reward ratio appealing. Since then, concerns about the AI bubble have emerged, and as a result, the stock has actually decreased by about 2% since that piece was published. We'll see if the market's caution is justified, or if this is a good time to buy once NVIDIA released its earnings in November. According to the research below, Q3 was a generally strong quarter with growth beginning to pick up speed again. NVIDIA's Q4 guidance indicates that both growth and profitability are expected to improve, despite possible increased competition from Alphabet's TPUs and some uncertainty around H200 sales to China. In spite of this, the valuation has significantly decreased since my last post. Thus, I think the current NVIDIA stock prices are an early Christmas present. Some investors are concerned that hyperscalers may soon reduce their capital expenditures, CapEx, and that massive investments in AI infrastructure cannot go on forever. There are currently no clear signs of what will occur. The following graphic shows that CSP CapEx spending is anticipated to increase through at least 2027. Furthermore, it is certain that NVIDIA will continue to enjoy significant tailwinds for the foreseeable future because the majority of that expenditure will go toward AI and accelerated computing. According to the company, the demand for Grace Blackwell NVL72 is exceptionally strong, and as a result, they are successfully catching the trends in compute seen above. The aforementioned graphic illustrates the current opportunity, and the business has also established a clear pipeline to take advantage of it. Blackwell is already well known by now, and the majority of investors are probably well aware that Rubin will be NVIDIA's next-generation architecture. But as you can see, the business already has plans for Feynman to become the cutting-edge chip by 2028 and beyond. As previously mentioned, accelerated computing and artificial intelligence will drive the majority of capital expenditures. But, With rivals such as Broadcom and Advanced Micro Devices gaining ground, it is crucial, in my opinion, that Jensen Huang remains committed to pushing the frontiers of innovation. Even while the corporation is currently the unchallenged leader in AI computing, if it doesn't introduce further groundbreaking innovations in the coming years, things might change. Considering Huang's history, I think investors can relax because he would probably fight off rivals fiercely. Now let's discuss their FY 2026 Q3 actual results. NVIDIA reported $57 billion in total sales, a 62.49% year-over-year increase. First off, on its own, this growth rate is clearly very reasonable. Second, some investors were worried that the company's growth will continue to slow as it grows. However, since a 56% revenue gain was reported in Q2, NVIDIA was able to accelerate top-line growth in Q3. The ability to defy this pattern should be a very encouraging indication for investors, as this acceleration follows 5 consecutive quarters of deceleration. According to their profits, demand for Blackwell Ultra's top chips is currently looking very strong as the company is growing across all customer segments. Finally, NVIDIA exceeded analyst projections by a staggering $1.96 billion on the top line. In the AI era, the company's capacity to consistently outperform is astonishing because expectations are never low. Since their data center business is currently the company's cornerstone, let's take a closer look at it as usual. Since Blackwell Ultra is currently their top architecture and their networking division is a powerful force worldwide, NVIDIA saw significant growth in both compute and networking revenues, as shown in the charts above. They reported $51.2 billion in total data center revenues, which is a 66% year-over-year growth rate. Their most significant business is a major factor in the re-acceleration, as this represents an acceleration from Q2's 56% growth rate. Jensen Huang said that Blackwell sales are off the charts and cloud GPUs are sold out, which is further indication of the strong demand. As a result, I think it's reasonable to argue that investors should be more concerned about supply limitations than inadequate demand at this time. Although the company's profitability could have been improved, NVIDIA's overall numbers were impressive. As can be seen above, the gross margin contracted by 140 basis points, indicating that competition is really fierce right now. However, gross margin shrank by a much worse 300 basis points in Q2, and there are now indications that this important indicator is beginning to stabilize. Overall expense control appears to have remained solid, as the company reported an operating expense increase of only 38%, which is significantly less than the growth in revenues. As a result, NVIDIA recorded an EPS of $1.30, a 60% year-over-year increase. Note that this is an acceleration from the previous quarter's 54% increase, which is another indication of re-accelerating growth, even if it still lags behind the top-line growth rate to indicate some profitability shakiness. Finally, they managed to surpass analyst forecasts for the bottom line by a reasonable $0.05. According to a report published in late November, Meta Platforms is thinking about utilizing Alphabet's tensor processing units. NVIDIA's dominance may be threatened by a surge in ASIC use, which is why the news apparently caused the stock to plummet. This might have been a bit of an overreaction, in my opinion. First off, I would argue that the market for AI computing is big enough for several big firms to thrive, especially because NVIDIA processors are practically sold out and demand seems to remain constant. It seems doubtful that NVIDIA's growth story will be interrupted, even though the adoption of Alphabet and Broadcom's ASICs may cause NVIDIA's overall market share to slow. More performance, versatility, and fungibility than ASICs, which are designed for specific AI frameworks or functions, NVIDIA added in response. Therefore, NVIDIA's GPUs continue to be the industry standard, even though TPUs might be superior for some particular applications. According to reports earlier this month, the U.S. government has authorized the sale of H200 chips in China, with President Trump requesting a 25% reduction. This clearly has the potential to improve NVIDIA's financial outcomes over time, even though the details of approval may still be a little unclear. Additionally, China sales may result in a larger worldwide market share for NVIDIA overall, so this is unquestionably good news. But investors shouldn't get ahead of themselves either. Following the announcement of approval, it was also said that China might restrict access to H200 because it is currently giving preference to domestic chip suppliers over NVIDIA. Therefore, in my opinion, the China market remains dubious until actual revenues are received. NVIDIA's earnings report included Q4 guidance. they anticipate revenues of about $65 billion, which would indicate a 65% year-over-year growth rate. The Q3 reacceleration is not an anomaly because that would be another acceleration of top-line growth. The resurgence of business activity should allay concerns that NVIDIA's expansion may stall as it grows. They anticipate a gross margin of 75%, which would actually be higher than the 73.5% recorded during the previous year. As a result, the gross margin volatility I mentioned before is not anticipated to persist, which is obviously encouraging. Finally, NVIDIA anticipates $5 billion in operating expenses, a 48% increase. The operating margin for Q4 is probably going to be extremely good because the revenue rise is anticipated to be significantly greater than this expense increase, and the gross margin is also forecast to expand. Overall, I think the near-term prognosis is good because both profitability and top-line growth are expected to increase. Since my last video, when the forward PE was at 40.09, there has been a substantial decline, bringing it down to just 36.40 today. This price, in my opinion, offers a significant amount of opportunity. NVIDIA's Q3 numbers were revealed to be generally good in today's video. Although profitability may have been slightly higher, the growth rebound should be the main focus. Even though Alphabet's TPUs might make things more competitive, NVIDIA doesn't appear to be in danger of being overtaken just yet because GPUs are still the industry standard and there are enough competitors. Regarding sales of the H200 in China, I think the money made there would be the cherry on top because it's obvious that NVIDIA is doing well there even if access is restricted. Last but not least, the company's fundamentals have improved substantially since my last update, and the projection for Q4 is encouraging on several levels. In the meantime, the forward PE ratio has decreased, thus I think now is a great time to buy shares. NVIDIA stock might be an early present for investors as Christmas approaches. As previously mentioned, the company's fundamentals are doing well. Despite Q3's less-than-ideal gross margin decline, Q4 forecast indicates a very strong short-term outlook. When you combine it with long-term compute spend trends and a robust pipeline, you have a leader who is expected to be at the top for the foreseeable future. Since the valuation has decreased, the current stock downturn appears to be irrational, even though growth is picking up speed again and margins are expected to increase in Q4. I've made the decision to give NVIDIA a strong buy recommendation as a result. One of billionaire David Tepper's top stock selections for 2026 is NVIDIA. Timothy Arcuri, a UBS analyst, reaffirmed his buy rating and $235 price objective for NVIDIA on December 9th. The optimistic outlook comes as Jefferies remains skeptical of the Chinese market's appetite for the company's H200 chips. Despite the U.S. approving NVIDIA's sale of the chips to Chinese customers, Jefferies has questioned the demand because China favors local alternatives. This is due to the fact that the H200 processors have lower capabilities and are the second-best AI chips. The research group cautions that the company may be negatively impacted by the Chinese government's efforts to gain autonomy over the sophisticated AI processor. This is partly due to the fact that Chinese AI models are performing better. Moonshot's Kimi K2 thinking model is now ranked 4th in the world. NVIDIA and Mistral AI have teamed up to expedite the creation of a new family of open models. The most recent model, the Mistral 3 series, is made for distributed intelligence from the cloud to the edge and is tailored for NVIDIA systems. The models may be used in the cloud, data centers, or at the edge and provide enterprise AI with industry-leading accuracy and efficiency. Furthermore, the new models are designed to facilitate experimentation and expedite AI innovation by academics and developers. Originally created for gaming, NVIDIA currently manufactures and markets specialized processors that are essential to AI, data centers, professional visualization, and the automotive sector. It created the CUDA Parallel Computing Framework and the Graphics Processing Unit, GPU, which enable its GPUs to do tasks beyond graphics. Third Point increased its investment to 2.85 million shares from 2.8 million in the second quarter of 2025, according to recent 13F filings that show his holdings as of September 30th. Notably, Third Point acquired 1.45 million shares of NVIDIA in the first quarter of 2025, expanding its holdings. NVIDIA exceeded the $54.88 billion street forecast for third quarter sales last month, reporting $57.0 billion, a 62% year-over-year increase. The company topped a street forecast of $1.25 for profits per share, reporting $1.30. NVIDIA is projecting that its fourth quarter revenue would fall between $63.70 billion and $66.30 billion. The current expert estimate is $61.48 billion. Additionally, NVIDIA stated that demand for its newest AI processors is still growing, which could push total revenue for its Rubin and Blackwell platforms above the previously set $500 billion goal through 2026. Analyst Dan Ives of Wedbush Securities called the quarter a massive beat and raise, pointing out that NVIDIA increased its January revenue forecast by $3 billion. According to him, the company's remarks demonstrated that the AI boom is still in its early innings, and he referred to the report as a major validation moment from the godfather of AI, Jensen and NVIDIA. The stock might reach $292 per share at 45 times earnings if NVIDIA's earnings reach $6.50 per share in fiscal year 2027, a 42% rise from its projected $4.57 per share this fiscal year, according to Ross Gerber of Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Furthermore, according to economist Mohammed El-Arian, the company's quarterly earnings report has arguably evolved from a corporate update to a full-blown macro event, demonstrating the systemic significance of AI for markets, businesses, and the economy. Supported by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, Humane extended its strategic alliance with NVIDIA to expedite the development of independent AI infrastructure in both Saudi Arabia and the United States. Additionally, Oracle is expanding its Abu Dhabi cloud area by launching the first Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OCI, supercluster powered by NVIDIA in the Middle East. The company's Q-Day platform, which serves as the foundation for almost all significant AI frontier models and a rising number of scientific and industrial applications, was highlighted by CEO Jensen Huang last month. To strengthen the collaboration, NVIDIA acquired almost $2 billion in Synopsys common stock this month at a purchase price of $414.79 per share. Additionally, the company is adding a wide range of new models, datasets, and development tools to its open-source artificial intelligence portfolio in an effort to speed up advancements in both digital and physical AI. At AWS, reInvent, NVIDIA, and Amazon Web Services strengthened their long-standing collaboration with new integrations in cloud infrastructure, AI software, and interconnect technology. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.